Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 256.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome.
Yes, welcome. If you're new here, please say hi down below.
Now, here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics. And every Monday, we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and X.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon. That way, every single time we're less than clean, you'll be alerted to it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm super clean.
Super clean.
Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch. If you are tuning in on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, no, we are not live. We are still here on the set for RV Unplugged.
Season 2, yo.
Now, we can't tell you anything about what's going on. We can't tell you whether or not we are in the show or if we've been voted off. We can't tell you anything about any of the competitions, because the show doesn't come out till May, but I can tell you we have a couple of hour break this morning on Sunday before we get back out to filming, and we figured this was a great time for us to be able to do our Keto Beyond the Couch. With any luck, we were going to try to do this again live next Monday. So next Monday is go home day. Depending on the weather and how things are going, we may actually just do Keto Beyond the Couch live before we leave. It depends on how the schedule falls.
No promises, though.
If not, it will be a recording, and we will pick up Keto Beyond the Couch live starting with 258. Also, most likely we will not be having a live again this Thursday. You're supposed to turn off your watch.
Sorry. It listens to everything.
We probably won't be live this Thursday again because we just don't know what schedules are like. And even when you get voted off, you still have to be on set and everything else. So lots of things going on. I will say we're having a blast.
We are.
And I will also say that if you've ever thought about being on a reality show, it's hard.
It's very hard.
It's like challenges are physically hard. The game is physically hard, with or without the RVing aspect. There's a huge mental challenge to the game, not only in keeping your head in the game and winning challenges, but also what do you do? Do you align? How do you do things? There's an emotional challenge because you get so close to people. I used to watch Survivor and watch people get upset when they voted people off, unless, of course, there was drama and they hated the person. And I was always like, how do you get so close so fast? You get so close so fast. It's
very
like
much so.
Tears running down your eyes when people are leaving.
It's on both teams.
Oh, it's hard. Yeah, even when you see it on the other team, you're like very upset. And so it's very, very draining to do this.
Excuse me. Every single inch of my body is hurting, and my inside hurts as well.
And I will say this, there's all different types of eating lifestyles here. There's some vegan, there's some vegetarian, there's some like I eat mostly plants, but I will eat meat. There's people who just eat the standard American diet, and you have us. And it's great because nobody has picked on the other person's diet or anything like that. But I will say that I think, my opinion, our eating lifestyle has given us advantages because I've seen people who are eating the standard American diet getting winded where we're not, even though they're physically in better shape than we are. We definitely, I know, have gone into it with a lot of mental clarity.
Yeah.
And also, we don't get as tired. Like, you are exhausted at the end of the day. You're talking about days starting at 5 a.m., not ending until 11 p.m. But, like, we're not as exhausted as other people, and I'm really going to attribute that to our diet. Also, our poop tank isn't filling up as fast as other people.
That is right, because you're unplugged. So, waste is a factor.
And also, I think we've been really good with, like, electrolytes. Oh my gosh. So we came here, we brought a bag of every single flavor of salty electrolytes, except for the plain, because I don't want unflavored. And like, there have been people who are like, oh my gosh, I'm low on electrolytes. They're drinking Propels, they're drinking Gatorades. And we've been going around handing out who wants one of these, putting them on the table, like anybody who wants one. And everyone's like, this is the best electrolyte. And it turns out Todd, who is like the host of the show and one of the producers, he's actually losing a lot of weight. And I went up to him like, Todd, what are
What's
you doing?
going on?
He's eating keto.
Yeah.
And so I gave him some. He's been using other electrolytes. And as I handed it, I kind of got the idea that when I said, I want you to try this electrolyte. And he's like, well, I need something that doesn't have any sugar in it. And I started thinking, I wonder if he's keto. So I finally asked him, and he was like, yeah, he's lost a whole bunch of weight, eating keto, focusing on meat. And so when I gave him the electrolytes, he's like, hey, we could do some trades. And I'm like, hey, can we have a trade for an advantage in the show? He said, no, we can't do that way.
Yeah.
But I was excited to be able to tell everybody about Salty, and everyone is like, people who've gotten dehydrated, here you go. And within 10 minutes, they were feeling better.
Well, and you figure as much as it's hard on the contestants, it's got to be hard on the host, right? Like, so he's got to bring his best every day. There's long filming days. And like we said, whether you're voted off or you're still on the show, you got to be here the entire time. It's a long day. And so as the host, you would want to be at your best. Like he certainly cannot break down.
Because he's not just the host, but he's also one of the producers, one of the creators of the show.
Yeah,
so
long days.
It's been a lot of fun. We appreciate all the well wishes from everybody. We definitely
feel them.
Miss everybody.
We feel the love though. Like I want, we get to come back to our rig, and you can't have your phone on the set, but like you could come back to your rig at night and just check your email, that sort of thing. Like that's why we're able to tape this right now. And so when we do, and we see we got pictures of people who have made shirts that say like 2KK crew, that means more to us than you could possibly imagine, because, there is a social aspect of this, and, everybody is trying to get $25,000. And so, in your mind, people need to get rid of me. Like, day one, people need to get rid of me in order for them to have the advantage. And so that's hard. Like when you think of that. And so
you only got a 1 in 10 shot of winning.
So we know that even if everybody here isn't hoping for the best for us, we know that there are people hoping for the best for us right now. I mean, nobody here has any animosity toward one another. I'm just saying, for gameplay purposes, everybody's looking at you sideways. Well, we know we've got you guys back at home rooting for us, and that means so much.
And I will say, you guys have come through, because one of the producers came up to us and said, boy, we knew the second you guys announced to your audience, because you flooded their Facebook feeds and their YouTube feeds. So like 2KK, go 2KK. I'm rooting for 2KK. And they're like, we knew right away. You guys have done amazing flooding. Keep doing that. Please go to all of the RV Unplugged Facebook group, the YouTube channel. It's airing mid-May, sometime in May. It's going to run through August. If you're in the Central Florida or near Central Florida area, go get your tickets for the rally.
Yes.
Where you're going to find out who wins.
Right. And
which we don't know who wins, but you'll find out there. They're going to do that. And you'll also have a chance to come to RV Unplugged next year and be a participant.
Yes.
If you come to the rally. So if you got an RV, but even if you don't have an RV, it's just going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to say that, listen, I've loved this experience, everything about it. And I know some people have said, well, it's just a YouTube thing. Listen, they've got top-notch camera crews here. These camera crew has won several Emmys, and this show may end up like on Netflix or on a Netflix. I mean, the way they're producing it, this is not RV Unplugged season 1. RV season 1 was kind of like low budget GoPro camera. This is, oh my gosh, like top-notch production.
Well, and make sure that you sign up on RV Unplugged for giveaways. They're doing giveaways
solo stoves
every single week. They're doing something different all the way up to when this is being aired. So we're definitely going to be having some watch parties when the season airs, but in between now and when it goes up, make sure that you're entering to win the giveaways, because they give away some really cool stuff.
Also, make sure you head over to our 2 Crazy Campers channel, because on the 2 Crazy Campers channel, what we've been doing is we've been making diaries We can't tell you anything now, and we can't release until each episode comes out. But as each episode comes out, we're going to have a 20-minute, 30-minute diary of our thoughts of how the day went, what was going through our mind. Because we may have like a 2-second thing in whatever they're doing here for our thoughts, but we want you to see what was going through our heads. Why did we make decisions that we made? How were we feeling? And so what we're going to do is after each episode airs, we're going to go over there. We're going to have that video go up, and we're going to go live in the chat. So we'll be live in the chat when the RV Unplugged episode airs. And then right after it airs, we're going to launch ours, and we're going to be live in that chat talking to you guys and explaining how we felt and why we made the decisions we made. But before they call us for some kind of interviews or some kind of stuff like that, let's get into Keto Beyond the Couch. If you are new to our channel, Keto Beyond the Couch is all about subscribers. We are all about community, which is why we really like this, because now we're getting community in the RV space, and more people are finding out about eating a proper human diet. We've had a lot of people asking us questions like, hey, would this help me with this? Would this help me with that? And we're all about community. And so we feel that like you can't do life without community. You can't do keto without community. So every Monday we like to go live, usually, and really just answer questions and comments from the last week that's been on our social media, as well as highlight different success stories that we found within our channel. We're going to start off with our Keto College Adjunct Professor of the Week. And sorry, not our normal setup, so I've got to look down at my computer. But our Keto College Adjunct Professor of the Week was actually Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
Debbie put up this little meme thing. It says, the biggest wall you've got to climb is the one that you build in your mind.
Boy, that is really true. One thing that we had to overcome for ourselves is the thought of even participating in athletic endeavors. I think sometimes, you put yourself into a compartment, you put yourself into a division, you're like, I'm not built for this. I'm not made for this. This is something that I could never do. Some people even think to themselves, like, I don't think that I could ever even RV because I'm not handy right now, or I wouldn't be able to, go without this sort of luxury. So don't put yourself in a box.
Yeah. There were definitely times even here where like mentally one of us was like, I'm done. And like as soon as that hits your mind, like day one, like even before day one, we were like, I don't know. Like maybe we can come up. Maybe I'm sick and we should back out. I don't think I can do that.
Don't back out of life.
And you can't do that. Like what comes to your mind is so important. So you got to stay really positive.
Yeah.
So the first comment we actually have is from Elsie Crape.
Hey.
Said, my win this week. I chose meat over brownies.
Yes.
The craving was strong, but the right choice won.
So stinking proud of you. Like that is really something that I think is going to bless a lot of people, because we don't celebrate those choices all the time, but many times we're surrounded by a temptation. And if we avoid that temptation and we go ahead and make a right choice, can we give as much celebration to making the right choice as we take time to kick ourselves for making the wrong choice?
Yeah.
Right?
Next one we have is from Hope.
Hey, Hope, wishing you nothing but the best on your crazy camping competition. I love that with a K. I hope you have so much fun and enjoy every minute. No matter how far you get in the competition, always remember you are already winners. Just getting to the point where any of this is possible is a huge win. We are all cheering you on from the sidelines. We're all so proud of you both.
And that was something that we said to ourselves. We were like, listen, win or lose, if we go home on the first day, if we go home on the last day, if we go home sometime in between, we've already won. Number one, because I got a new truck. But more importantly, the fact that we have this ability.
Yeah.
Like, I never in my wildest dreams would have thought 7 years ago that we were going to have the opportunity to be able to go kayaking, to be able to go to water parks. We always thought by the time I was 50, I was going to be permanently in a wheelchair, and I was on my way there. All of the different things that we could do, I never would have thought 7 years ago that I would be able to do that. And to now look that we are in a reality show in an RV And we are participating in some very hard physical challenges, mental challenges, emotional challenge. I didn't think that would be possible. And the only reason we are here is because we started a proper human diet.
Well, and I agree with that. And, I look back and I think I couldn't play with my kids properly. I couldn't run around after my children.
We probably wouldn't have even been able to unhook the RV.
And I also think about in terms of brain health and my anxiousness, my social anxiety. There would be no way, whether I thought that I could, run or move or even do something competitive, I wouldn't put myself out there in the past because I wasn't able to come out of my shell enough to show up for something. So I think that it's like, it's not everybody's dream to participate in something that is so like out there and with the possibility of being on television. Some people, that would be like their nightmare. However, being able to participate in something that means something to you, put yourself out there in terms of like, if you've, suffered like I have from anxiety, depression, social anxiety, where you're like, man, I'm trapped on the inside. I wish I could get out there. I wish I could do something, whether it's participating in competition or just like try a new activity. The fact that my brain is unlocked and able to do this really is a blessing. So don't delay, because there's so much more than weight loss that keto provides.
I'm just going to say this. Can't tell you why or what it was from. But when you watch the RV Unplugged from day one, you are going to be so proud of this girl. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I was crying watching her, just even setting up the RV will then.
Thank you. My A1C, this last lab was 5.0. The only thing that my doctor focused on was my total cholesterol being at 310. My triglycerides were 54 and HDL at 63, but he was trying to convince me to take a statin again.
Wow. I mean, listen, here's the thing. Like, unfortunately, a lot of doctors are still focused on LDL, and that's why I'm looking at like the metabolic conference that Dave Feldman is putting on for the Citizen Scientist Foundation in Vegas next month is so important, because the more evidence that gets out there that shows that LDL is not the only thing to look at with heart disease, the better we're all going to be. There's so many other things to look at. That's like looking at your car and looking at the gas gauge and going, if the needle is full, the car will run.
Right.
Well, there's a lot of things. If you look at old-fashioned cars before we got all the computers, there were three things that you had to look at. You had to look at your how much fat, or is it getting fuel? Is it getting power? Is it getting air? Now we have all these other factors. Is there a bad sensor? Is there, a bad computer? It's not just one thing. And right now you see a lot of physicians, and it's just because that's what they've been taught.
Right.
They're looking at one thing. And if that one thing is bad, then we have to worry, you're going to have heart problems. But there's lots of cars that if there's one thing bad, that car will still run.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So next one we have is from Selena.
Hey, Selena. I found you trying to learn more about a keto healthier lifestyle. Well, I'm glad you did, Selena. One thing I listened to was that if I want to lose this 60 pounds, I can't necessarily add a high-fat keto diet to my regimen. Was there a video you have to help me understand this a lot better?
Okay, so it's funny. There are a lot of people who were like in the healthcare industry here. So we had the registered nomads who traveling nurse. We have Stacy, who was an LP, is a nurse.
We have some combat medics.
Lots of different people from that. And we sat around just in downtime talking about things like this and just like, what is the problem in this country with, like thoughts on like what the food pyramid is, and everybody's in agreement, whether they're keto or not. And one of the things that came up is everybody agrees, even people who are eating the standard American diet, is that fat does not make you fat.
Right.
Now, does that mean that you should just eat sticks of butter all day? No, you're not going to lose weight. There is an oxidative priority. Your body is going to burn off alcohol and then burn off exogenous ketones, then burn off carbs, and then dietary fat, and then body fat. The goal is, or the key is, to find how much your body needs to run and eat slightly less, not a lot less. People think, oh, well, if I need 150 grams of fat every day just to maintain, I should drop it to 90. You'll lose weight for a week or two.
Right.
And then your body is going to adjust to that. And now what do? And eventually you get to a point where you can't lower it anymore. So if you need 150, you want to maybe eat 140, and you're going to go down a little bit and a little bit, and then you come back up. So we always talk about this. You want to eat a minimum of 100 grams of protein a day. This is my personal opinion based on everything I've learned and studied and researched and learned from becoming a master health coach and from talking to physicians. That's what we need. We need a minimum of 80 to 100 grams. I'm going to tell you, you're always better off with 100 over 80. 80 is like bare minimum and probably not enough. 100 grams of protein minimum. It's okay if you eat a little bit more. And then a minimum of 1 gram of fat per that gram of protein. So 100 grams of fat, and then increase from there. If you're only eating 100 grams of protein, 100 grams of fat, that is not a lot of nutrition.
Right.
And if you looked at it calorically, it's very low in calories. Most people do very well at almost 2 grams of fat to 1 gram of protein. I always recommend you start higher and then lower, because if you start lower, you're going to slow down your metabolism. And that was something else that everybody that I talked to here that is in fitness, in healthcare, every single one of them have agreed it is not about calories. That eating a low-calorie diet is going to do more harm than good.
Right.
And so it's something very important to remember. So if someone comes in and says, like, yes, you have body fat on you, so you shouldn't eat fat, I disagree with them. I'm not going to say they're wrong. I disagree with them. And I can just tell you, I know a lot of people who the more they ate when they're eating proper foods, the better they did.
Exactly.
Next one we have is from Teresa.
Hey, Teresa.
I don't like the system as much. Said, oh, I'm off today, and I was so sorry I wasn't alive.
Sorry about that, Teresa.
I was hoping for a birthday song. Oh, well, good luck.
Well, here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Teresa. Happy birthday to you and many more. So many more,
Happy
Teresa.
belated birthday, Teresa.
Sorry we missed it being on time.
Next one's from Lori.
Hey, Lori, where and when will we be able to watch RV Unplugged?
So RV Unplugged, the best and easiest place to watch it is going to be RV Unplugged YouTube channel. It is also going to be on RV TV, on Hulu, and a couple of other streaming services. They're working on getting it onto Netflix. You'll also be able to watch it on the RV Unplugged website. But honestly, the easiest place to watch it is going to be on YouTube.
So subscribe to it, and then also say that the Two Crazy Ketos sent you.
And also, if you watch it on YouTube, when each episode airs during the week, they're going to have it as a premiere, and we're going to be live in the chat. That's the other reason you're going to want to watch it.
You can watch the entirety of season 1 right now and just see. It's a fun show.
Yep. Let's take a quick fade to black, and then we're going to come back with the rest of the comments. Okay, first one is from Carol.
Hey, Carol.
Carol said, hi, all. Can anyone tell me why some pork rinds and skin show the protein is 7 grams per half-ounce serving, but next to the label, it says not a significant source of protein? In my opinion, 7 grams of protein for the small amount is good. Am I not understanding something? Yeah. So pork rinds are not a complete protein.
Right.
So it's missing some amino acids, some essential amino acids. Therefore, it is not a total protein. If you're going to eat pork rinds, the only thing that you would be eating them for as part of your meal, as a snack, although we don't really do snacking, we do like to have them as part of our meal. We put them on top, crunchy things like our recent recipe from the cream of mushroom soup or from the green bean casserole, put it along the top, takes great place of that. You can use it for the fat source. If you hey, I had 100 grams, I want 100 grams of fat, and these have 10 grams of fat, use it there, but don't count them as protein. I also wouldn't count if you're eating something like a Quest cookie or a Quest bar. Don't count that as protein.
Yeah.
That is a dessert. It's not a protein source.
That is not a hamburger cookie.
Always count the fat, but don't count the protein. The protein you want to count is the whole food protein. If you're eating eggs, count that protein. If you're eating beef, count that protein. Chicken, count that protein. If you're eating yogurt, you can count that protein. But if you're eating something like a processed thing, like the snacks or things like that, I would not count that protein, because many times it's not a whole food. And also, again, you're going to start like going, oh, well, I need more protein, so let me eat 4 Quest cups. Go watch the video that we did on the Quest cups.
Yeah.
So, but always count the fat. In anything you're eating, you want to count the fat if you are tracking. Next one is from Pamela.
Hey, Pamela. Hello. I'm new to this family. Looking forward to learning and talking to everyone. I have been eating low carb since last July, down 20 pounds. Way to go, Pamela. I would love to join the keto way of life. I truly don't understand how to figure macros. Anyone game to help me? Thanks a bunch.
Okay, so Pamela, we have several videos on this. First of all, congratulations on going down 20 pounds.
That's awesome.
With figuring macros, it's not a big deal, especially if you're just getting started. Here's our advice when you first get started. What you want to do is simply go in and you're going to eliminate all of the carbs out of your life. Pasta, grains, sugars, starches, all of that stuff. Super easy. Keep your total carbs under 20 to 30 a day. Total carbs, not net carbs. Again, go watch the video where we're holding up all the Quest cookies and Quest peanut butter cups.
It can be manipulated.
You don't understand why. 20 to 30 total carbs a day, and then eat as much as you want. Try to limit your food to 2 to 3 times a day. Eat till you're full, focusing on meat. You won't be able to overeat. It's hard enough to eliminate the carbohydrates where we have to start counting. And then from there, like I said, 100 to 150 grams of protein a day to start is a great place to start. And then from there, at least 1 gram of fat. And then you're going to tune what you need. Next one is from Jane.
Hey, Jane, has anyone tried making a chicken broth soup with egg life wraps as the noodles? Do you have to brown them a little first so they're not so soggy? Thanks.
So no, think about it like egg drop soup. So you're going to take your egg life wraps, you're going to slice them into little pieces like the width of noodles. Let's say you're making egg drop soup or wonton soup or whatever. Just drop them in there. They're going to soften, but they're not going to be bad. It's literally going to be like an egg drop soup or something like that. Not egg drop, but an egg noodle soup. And they do slightly cook. It's just egg whites. And a lot of people use them as noodles. We've tried it. I absolutely love it. They're not like disgusting.
No, they're not.
You would think that, ooh, that's just going to fall apart, but it doesn't.
They stay less soggy, honestly.
Next one is from Philip.
Hey, Philip. Appreciate comments regarding element versus salty.
So we like them both.
Yeah, we use them both.
So since salty came out, our definite preferred electrolyte is salty for 2 reasons. Number one, unless you are buying a 4-box subscription from Element, salty is cheaper. It's significantly cheaper if you use our link that's down below in the description box. You use our link, you are salty, it comes out to be $1 a stick. That's a few cents less than Element. The only way to get Element cheaper is to buy 4 boxes, and it's got to be on a subscription plan.
Right.
And then you save a couple cents. I don't know. To me, that's a lot to buy on a subscription to save a couple of pennies. It's not a lot of savings. The thing that I like most about salty is there's no maltodextrin in the natural flavors. And as we've introduced it to people around here,
that's their first question.
That's their first question is, does it have maltodextrin? Does it have sugar? What is the fiber? And so that's what I really like about the salty. Also, salty has more magnesium and it has more potassium. And that's, again, something some of the healthcare professionals that are here notice right away is like, oh my gosh, look at this potassium level. Oh my gosh, look at this magnesium level. Like, you do need about 300 milligrams of magnesium a day minimum. And salty is providing at least half of that. And the same thing with the potassium. It's got the same amount of potassium, actually slightly less potassium than 1 banana. So you see, like, as we're entering into like lacrosse season here in Florida, I will see kids all the time shoving bananas down their throat because their parents or their trainers or whatever, like, you got to have the potassium. Here, eat a banana. Well, salty's got almost as much potassium as a banana. So, again, we're not doctors, nurses, or health professionals, but personally, I would not worry about 400 milligrams potassium no matter what, because you're supposed to be taking 2,000 to 4,000 milligrams of potassium even on a standard American diet. If your doctor said to you, like, hey, you should go eat an avocado or you should go eat a banana, then feel comfortable taking a salty because it's actually got less potassium than that. Next one is from Susan.
Hey, Susan, getting started again on keto. Welcome back. What app is best and free to track carbs and the proper macro ratios? Cronometer has a free option for that, and we have found that to be the most trustworthy that we've found thus far because it verifies results. A lot of
for tracking. Do not use Cronometer to calculate your macros. Honestly, I don't believe in tracking macros, and I don't believe in using macros so much to figure out unless you're in a very unique circumstance. I think Cronometer is great to track what you're eating.
Right.
I think that sometimes tracking something, not necessarily always your food, but tracking something. How many times a day I eat? All right, how much sugar am I eating?
How many nuts
How many steps have I taken? I think tracking can be beneficial, but it doesn't have to be tracking food. Cronometer is definitely the best for that because it's the most accurate out of everything that's out there. Again, when it comes to like calculating your macros, focus on whole foods. Start with meat, maybe a little bit of vegetables. Your vegetables should be a filler. Unlike many people in the standard American diet where they like eat a lot of vegetables and the meat is filler, your diet should be about 90% meat. And then maybe a little bit of vegetables. And if you're eating only whole foods, you don't need to worry about tracking down everything because you're not eating a lot of carbohydrates. And again, that is something else. It's amazing to see people who are not in the keto space who are in agreement that counting your macros is stupid. That's what they were all saying. They're like, listen, like during Little House on the Prairie, nobody was moving things going, did I have 25 calories?
With an abacus.
Right? It didn't happen. So having an overall idea of like, I should be eating a bunch of protein. Let's make sure I'm getting enough protein. That's good. But micromanaging going, oh my gosh, I needed 110 grams of protein and I got 114. My body's going to fall apart. Don't worry about it.
Well, and it's interesting because, again, you're going to be at your best if you're eating whole foods. Whole foods is the way to go. You want to be the most successful? Whole foods. Whole foods are where it's at. Okay, so how do we make whole foods convenient, like for us to grab and go? Because the only reason why we're using grab and go options is because we need to grab something and go. So meal prepping is your friend. And you can go campsite to campsite around here. What has been really great with long days, unknown circumstances.
Don't know when you're going to eat.
You don't know when you're going to eat. You don't know what your day is going to bring. You don't know what is going to be like a demand, either emotionally or physically. Well, that's just describing life, right? That is life. You don't know what's going to happen today or like where your schedule will take you. Everyone everywhere is talking about meal prepping has made a stressful situation easier. So I highly recommend bringing in some meal prepping into your life.
And meal prepping helps you make good choices.
That's right.
And if you were to go around these campsites, and it has been interesting, there are some people who've been here who were like us, and they meal prep 2 weeks worth of food, put it in the freezer, put it in the fridge, and everything is now just heat and reheat.
Everyone who hasn't done that has had to leverage snacky foods they did not want to eat.
That's where I was going. And you see people coming out with bags of chips and things like that because
shaking their heads.
We honestly don't know when we're going to eat. You know, things go by filming, weather, this didn't work, you know, listen, nothing is fake about these shows. I've learned that. And some people are always like, oh, well, they had the perfect shot. It had to be scripted. No, what happens is something happens and they may say, hey, we have to redo that. Now that it's decided, we have to shoot it from a different angle because we missed the camera shot.
Yeah.
So there's things like that. But everything that happens. And then sometimes they want a different angle if they couldn't get a camera there. But it makes for long days. Long days. You know, when you see a challenge happening and it's like, you know, everybody's got to be filmed individually. Where on the show, it's 5, but it took us 2 hours to do it. It comes down to like people have complained if I don't get a chance to go cook, like, oh my gosh, I need at least an hour to prep. And the fact that we've been able to, oh, we have 10 minutes, no problem. Let me go grab 4 slices of brisket and I can eat it when I'm walking back.
But that is your day. That is everybody's day. You don't know when there's going to be a demand at work. You don't know if there's like something going on with the kids, and like you had plans that I was going to, eat a quick, a good healthy meal, but it just didn't happen. And what happens is you have to grab something that is not on the plan. And we've seen people like in the middle of eating something going, I'm going to regret this later. And I don't want you at home to be thinking that this week.
Next one is from Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
Does anybody know if the price for the Two Crazy Ketos cruise in December includes food? Yeah. So all cruises that I know of include free food.
Which is awesome.
So on the Two Crazy Ketos cruise, the one that's happening in December, there's a link down below. We still have some cabins available. Mostly we have ocean view balconies. There are 1 or 2 boardwalk balconies left, and there are a few, not a lot, of the interior rooms left. So link for that is down below. Leaving on December 8th on Oasis of the Seas out of Fort Lauderdale, 6 nights,
so much fun.
7 days. So on that cruise, you get the main dining room, which has breakfast every day and dinner every day. We will be eating to dinner together as a family if you want. You don't have to attend, but we will organize where everybody is seated together within 6 tables or whatever, and we can kind of bounce around and things like that. So on sea days, they're also open, I believe, for lunch. Then in addition, you have the Windjammer, which is a buffet, and they have great food. We have lots of videos on that. They're open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then you have Sorrento's Pizza. Sorrento's Pizza is free. We just eat all the toppings off and make pizza stacks. There's also on Oasis of the Seas, I believe they have the hot dog bar with lots of toppings. We had that when we were on Allure of the Seas with the low carb cruise.
Delicious.
Hot dogs are great. Toppings are great. Just throw out the bun and you are keto friendly. And then there's also a couple of other things. Those are all of your free options.
But it's unlimited. Just food is available all day long.
Food is available. You can stay keto. We've proven it over and over again. You can stay keto on a cruise, no problem. Then if you're okay to spend money, there are different paid options in addition, like specialty restaurants, like Chops Grill. There's all Playmakers, all different types of places where if you want extra. When we go on cruises, just the two of us, we will usually get the specialty because we want to try different things. But on the Two Crazy Ketos cruise, we don't bother with the specialty restaurant because for us, we want to eat meals with all of you guys.
Right.
Next one is from Sandy.
Hey, Sandy. Hey, Joe and Rachel. If you're able to get this message, rewatch your video where Joe passed his dive instructor test. It's very encouraging. I can hear you saying something similar in another week, except maybe skip the camping for a wee bit. Wow. Thank you so much.
So when you put this up, I went back and I rewatched it and basically talking about I couldn't believe I was going to do it and I was so nervous. And
you did it.
And I did it. And
Sandy, thank you.
The encouragement that has come from you guys has been amazing. It has kept us going.
It really has.
It got us here with so many times where we were a week before, 3 days before, the day before, I don't think I can do this. Sarah G sent us with a whole packet of envelopes of scripture verses, and we have opened one every day. And what's really been amazing is I love seeing God work. Every day that scripture verse
what we needed.
Was what we needed for that day. It applied to what we're doing. She didn't number them.
No, so
it's literally we fan them out and we pick one out. And it has been encouraging. And the posts in Mighty Networks has been encouraging.
I think about past failures from childhood forward. What's the difference? Why do I feel like we don't give up as easily as we did in the past? The difference is community. So if you're man, I feel like I am still making small moves forward, but just a lot of failure, dive deeper into community, making sure that you have a crew, that you have a group of people cheering you on, right? The only way that you do that is you make yourself available for community. You get in there so that when you need it, it's there. It's not one of those things that it's man, when I'm having a bad day, then I will step in and ask for help. Get in right now. Be the friend that you would want somebody to be to you. And then when you need that friend and you need to like, hey guys, it's me today. I'm the one that needs it. You've already got a bunch of friends around you that's ready to like cheer you on when you need it.
Where do you go to find local meetups? I know they say somewhere in a video, but I don't remember what they say. So 2 places to find local meetups. You have the best place that I think is actually in our Mighty Networks group. So pretty much everybody that's having meetups, they're posting on our Mighty Networks group and on our Facebook group, but you can go to Mighty Networks. It's completely free. Members.2krazyketos.com. If you would like to support us, which we greatly appreciate, support us financially.
Yeah.
You can do that in there by joining the $5, $10, or $25 group. But most stuff is in the just regular free group. So that's one place because people are always posting things like that. The other place is lowcarbevents.com. Lowcarbevents.com is all of the different keto things that are going on that Chris Bear knows about. The problem with that one is it relies on whoever's organizing the meetup to go and fill out the form. And so a lot of times people are just, hey, we're just getting together at Buffalo Wild Wings, and they don't bother filling that form out. We ask you to so that other people will know. But that's why they'll say like, hey, in our Mighty Networks group, I've seen people go like, I'm going to the movies this week. Does anybody want to go? That's not going to show up on Low Carb Events. So
no.
I would use Low Carb Events for larger things. And then, but really focus on inside of our Mighty Networks group. And I know that you're in the Ohio area, and we have a large group in Ohio.
Shout out to the Indiana peeps, Mark and Sabrina, who actually hosted one this past week. And thanks for sharing that picture with me, Sabrina, of like everybody that showed up, because it really was so heartwarming to see you guys getting together. Just such a beautiful group.
I am going to say this also when it comes to local meetups and things like that. As we've been here for the last week and from when we went to the RV show, we have decided that moving a little bit this year and then into next year, we will probably not attend as many conferences as we have in the past. Like last year was ridiculous. It was like 7 or 8 conferences, which costs us a lot of money. You know, thanks to you guys, we're able to do it because you do support us on Mighty Networks or do, you know, super thanks, you know, in the comments of this. And if you really like this video, feel free to hit that thanks button down below and throw a couple dollars towards the channel. But super chats, things like that, that is how we're able to do this, because like we're going to Vegas. The Vegas trip's going to cost us $3,000 out of our own pocket probably by the time we're done. The flights are costing us like $1,500, but we think it's important to be there. But one of our goals as we've experienced this and realized, okay, we can be on the road for a while and be okay and continue to bring videos, and we can live without having a plug-in electric, and we can live for a couple of weeks with only having 40 gallons of water.
It's going to be 2KK unplugged.
We're going to start traveling the country more in our RV, bring keto on the road, and do meetups. So we are planning one for probably mid-April. I'm just trying to figure out what the route is going to be. Definitely going to be stopping somewhere in the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area.
Heck yes, because I love pickled stuff.
As soon as we have all those details, we will post everything. Will be posted on Mighty Networks, and but we're going to do that. We want to do that a couple of times a year at least, where we're going to go on the road in our RV for 2, 3, 4 weeks. And stop and do meetups along the way.
Come hang out with us.
So it's going to be like 2KK on the road. And so we're really excited about that, because just being part of this show has proven us that we can be off. We can be unplugged.
Yeah.
Next one we have is from Sue.
Hey, Sue, I have reset my macros, carbs and fat per the video, but how do I know where to set my protein? I've always thought it was half fat. Is that correct? Seems like way too much food.
So again, I know we said a couple of times, if you're only eating whole food, you're eating meat and some veggies, and you're not incorporating a lot of processed or overly processed. I don't like processed because even beef is processed. If you're eating mostly meat and a little bit of veggies, I would not worry about tracking your. Eat 2 or 3 meals a day and eat until you are full. Okay, that's the whole idea of beef, butter, bacon, egg, because you're gonna get in touch with your satiation. You won't be able to overeat. So again, when you look at your protein, what you should be eating a minimum of about 100 grams of protein. That should be your minimum. Your fat should be at least equal to that and probably more.
Right.
Fat would be 1 gram of protein to 1 gram of fat, or 1 gram of fat to 1 gram of protein, and you're probably going to get closer to 2 grams of fat to 1 gram of protein. 1 gram of fat to 1 gram of protein on 100 grams of protein is not a lot of calories, not a lot of food. You know, that's less than 1 pound of ground beef a day.
If you want to slash something, slash those low carb tortillas, slash the store-bought keto bread. Slash it.
Get it.
Slash it.
If you're eating low carb wraps where they say this is 2 net carbs, 3 net carbs, 0 net carbs,
begin there.
Go throw it out, because it's not really.
It's undermining
they're
you.
Faking the numbers.
It's undermining you.
Next one is from Sherry.
Hey, Sherry, can anyone share their thoughts on travel insurance when cruising? Well, I wish I could go on the 2KK cruise this time. Sadly, I can't. Home remodel is on the agenda and can't spare the time or money. However, I am contemplating the low-carb 2025 Alaskan cruise and wanted advice on insurance through cruise line versus whole trip, including air, hotel, travel into another country if excursion takes me there. Thanks in advance for the tips. I would love it if Joe or Rachel could give their 2 cents on this one.
Okay, so if you didn't know, I am a travel agent. And so if you want to get any kind of a cruise or anything I'm kind of specializing in cruises, but I can book other things. But cruising and those kind of things, Disney vacations, I've gotten a couple of certifications on that. Go through a travel agent. Just air travel, call the airline directly. I'm just going to be honest with you. Okay. But it doesn't cost you anything to have a travel agent on a cruise. Like, calling a travel agent for air travel will cost you extra money.
Right.
When it comes to travel protection, if you're going on a cruise, my advice is don't get it through the cruise line. Don't get it through the cruise line. First of all, if you are traveling outside of this country, whether it be on a cruise or actually going to another country, you need to have some type of travel protection, because your health insurance and Medicaid and stuff and Medicare is not going to cover you. If you get injured, you're on your own. You're out of pocket. And many of these countries you go to, like, especially if you go to like Mexico or if you go to the Bahamas, they won't even see. It's not like, oh, now you have $100,000 bill. It's like, oh, like, you're sick, 100 grand to walk through the door. I mean, there's a dive guy who has a large channel, and I've actually dove on the boat with him because he comes to Fort Lauderdale area a lot. He recently got injured diving, and there was an issue with his insurance, and he was like at the front door where the company was saying, we're going to pay for him to get into a hyperbaric chamber, and the private hospital was like, sure, we'll take that money when you get into the hyperbaric chamber. Oh, but if you want to come into the hospital to go into the hyperbaric chamber, that's 10 grand.
Do you have just 10 grand in your pocket right now? Like, or 10 grand on a credit card? Like, so, that was scary. He could have died.
He could have died. And so you want to have really good travel protection, because unless you have a MasterCard or an American Express card that has like a $25,000 or $50,000 limit that you can go, there you go, you could die. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but like many of these countries, they're not even going to look at you until you pay them up front. They're not waiting. It's not like the United States where they treat you and then you just have a bill for the next 30 years. So make sure if you're leaving the United States, you have travel protection. I always say with the cruise line, the problem with the cruise line one is it's covering your cruise. If you get your airline fare stuff through the cruise line, it'll cover that. But it's not covering other things. So you have a few reasons to have it. For number one, for medical. Number two, if something happens, if you get sick and at the last minute you can't get on that cruise, if you have travel protection through the cruise line, you're handled there. Sometimes they may just only want, depending on the cruise line, they may only want to just give you back a credit for future. Some of them will give you cash back. But that's not taking care of your flights or anything like that. So I recommend getting an outside one. So we have, ours is through Allianz, and if you're looking for something like that, I can help you get that. It's roughly the same cost. Maybe it's a couple dollars more, but it's much better protection
way more
all the way around.
comprehensive.
Covers your baggage, covers lost bags, covers travel delays, travel cancellations. It covers a lot more in healthcare. Like, I think it's up to like $500,000, covers dental, all of that stuff. The other thing that you can look at, if you travel a couple of times a year, you get an annual plan. And like, I know, like, we have an annual plan, and you can get an annual plan for 2 people for like under $450, and that will cover multiple trips. So like for us, we're traveling a few times in a year. It's better for us to have an annual plan. So I can pay $150 every time I get on a cruise ship, or I can pay $415 or whatever it was.
Just be done for the
year.
year.
And I'm covered for the whole year. Because how often are we really going to use it? It's going to be a one and done, but at least I'm protected the entire year. Next one is from Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, what days do videos come out and when do they go live?
We've been talking about this with other content creators here. We are the most inconsistent with video releases,
I think
with the exception of 2.
So Monday at 10 a.m., guaranteed Keto Beyond the Couch.
Unless there's a technical issue.
Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern is going to be our Thursday night live, unless we are in a situation like this where it's just not humanly possible to do it.
Right. Now, as far as the rest of the videos, if you want me to be honest,
when Joe gets done with them.
When I can finish editing them. When I have time to edit them. We've got a few go up this week. Right now, we're in a rainstorm. I don't know if it's showing through in the microphone, but going to try to get another one up today, or possibly even do a live stream in a little while. When we get done, we'll pop on and do a surprise live. We count lives as our 5 videos a week, by the way, if you haven't figured that out.
Right.
Because 5 videos a week is a lot. It is a lot. But so, yeah, it really comes down to when I have time to edit it, because it is, especially vlogs, we used to try to get them out the day after we film them, but it's too much work. There could be 20, 30, 40 clips. So usually they're about a week or so after we've actually filmed it, sometimes longer. It really depends on our schedule.
We're doing our best.
Yeah, so we do our best. But yeah, so if you're looking for a guarantee, Mondays at 10 a.m., Thursdays at 8:30 p.m., unless there's extenuating circumstances like we're on a reality TV show right now.
Right.
Next one is from Sandy.
Hey, Sandy, wanted to share my friend's reaction to the 2KK net carbs quest video I sent her. She said, love the video you sent. They explained it so well and were funny. Thank you. Then she sent me text after she realized how many carbs were in the things she ate. Won't be buying our 5-gram net carb wraps anymore. They have 19 grams of total carbs. Our gluten-free wraps have 26 total carbs. Just looked up a Mission Flour Wrap 24. Our yummy little Bobo snacks all have 25 to 27 total carbs. I think she's getting it.
That's why we made the video. Yeah. Listen, when we made that video, man, I had to admit that I love Quest cups, and I don't think there's anything wrong with them.
But you had to admit that you're not totally a Whole Foods guy that never touches
and
something
I've
with
never
a wrapper.
claimed to be. And yeah, we've gotten hate. Like, I can't believe you eat them. Listen, it makes it sustainable for me.
Right.
Would you rather me eat that, or like I've watched people who claim to be low carb walk up and get donuts every once in a while? Which one's better? Me eating the Quest cup, or me eating a mug cake that I've made, or me saying today, I just want some real ice cream and donuts and I'm going to go eat them? I'd rather have the Quest cup.
Well, and I love the fact that you shared our video. Thank you so much for everybody that shouts us out on different social media channels. Like, it really helps us a lot. It helps us reach more people like your precious friend who needs this information, because they're trying to do so much better than they've ever done in the past. They're trying to eat better. And because of these lion wrappers, they are not having the momentum that they deserve, because they've been putting in so much effort. That's what I cannot stand. When I have big changes in my life, like I'm willing to change my lifestyle, and so I stop reaching for a wrapped sugary treat, and I instead reach for something that is a wrapped keto friendly, supposedly in parentheses, treat, and then I have the same outcome. No health momentum, no weight loss. Like, that makes me really mad. So we did this video so that people can stop being deceived.
the thing is we make videos a lot of times based on our own struggles.
Right.
And it's embarrassing. But if we think it's going to help people, we're willing to be embarrassed.
Yep.
We're on YouTube because we thought it could help people.
Yeah.
It's hard putting your life out there.
You're going to get some mud on your face.
If you go watch our video on us throwing out the scale, there are a lot of negative comments like, well, you guys have worked your way into an eating disorder. No, if you want to, and I don't think it's an eating disorder. I think it was an obsession over the scale that we've finally gotten over. That wasn't caused by losing weight. It was caused by us putting ourselves on YouTube and worrying about what you thought of us. That if we gain 10 pounds, you're going to think less of us. Right. That's what caused that obsession with the scale. Not losing weight in our eating things. It was totally because we put ourselves out there. But we are willing to do that if it helps one person.
One person.
If it helps one person. Another person who is in this competition right now is this amazing man named Matt. Matt lost his leg. He is an amputee. He lost his leg in a mining accident. And oil drilling. The thing is he said, like, this, as soon as it happened, he was like, I'm going to come back from this. And if one person finds Jesus because I've lost my leg, it would be worth it. And his wife was like, no, it wouldn't. He was like, yes, it would.
Yeah.
Because I'd save one person's soul.
Yeah.
If we could act silly and goofy and be embarrassed, but it helps one person,
it's enough,
improve their life, how many generations would we be helping from that one person? And that's why we do it. And that's why we put that video out. We're hoping we can help one person recognize that the food companies are lying to us. That's all it was. Last one is from Carrie.
Hey, Carrie.
He said, I would be so sick if I ate beans and rice. And I thought, look at this little graph. Animal protein versus plant protein. Because so many people say you need to eat plant protein, right? To get 30 grams of protein, you can eat a 4-ounce steak, which is going to give you 100 calories and 0 grams of carbs. Or you can eat 3 cups of beans and rice, which is 720 calories and 145 carbs.
Well, look at that. Even for if someone is completely obsessed with like the calorie thought process, you can see people are thinking, well, beans and rice is going to be so much less calories than steak. They think that meat is really just going to hit them and delay success because you can't have anything good associated with fatty meat. But the truth is, those beans and rice, they're not helping you like you think they are.
Well, the rice is flowing through you. It's filling you up. Yeah, it's filling you up. But look at if you want to look at calories, look at the calorie content. 180 versus 700 and something, right? And let's look at, and you know, what's the old stereotype, right? If you eat a bunch of Chinese food, you're going to be hungry a half hour later. Why? Because it's all carbs.
Yeah.
It's all that rice. And so you're going to eat all of that. Beans. And you're going to like burn through those carbohydrates, those starches, and then you're going to be hungry. You could literally eat the same volume of steak. Like, I'm not talking about amount, but if you ate that same volume of that 4-ounce piece of steak, ate a lot more steak, ate a pound of steak, you're still going to be less calories, 4 times the protein. You're going to be full, and you're going to be full for longer.
Yeah. Just
eat your meat. That's the key.
That's the message.
If you're having a hard time, if you're like, I can't eat a lot, if you're in a situation where it's, I can't eat a lot, we get it a lot, right? If you're in that situation, the only thing you should be eating is meat then.
Exactly.
If you're sitting there
you don't got room for anything
Joe,
else.
I can't get 100 grams of protein into my day. I'm full. If I'm full. Then make sure the only thing you're eating is meat.
Yeah.
You should be eating, if you have that much of a struggle, you should be eating 0 vegetables. You should be eating 0 treats, any of that stuff, because you need to look at nutrient density, and the nutrient density is going to come in meat.
Yeah.
If you can eat more, fine, incorporate vegetables. We can eat more. But if you're just like, I just can't, I am stuffed after a quarter of a pound of ground beef, then there should be nothing else on your plate. There should be nothing else on your plate because you need nutrient density and you're going to get that in the meat. Well, that's going to be the end of Keto Beyond the Couch this week, live from Central Florida and the set for RV Unplugged Season 2. I'm glad we were able to get this in,
Me
especially
too.
considering it's raining out there. At least we don't have to be outside.
Thanks for this, guys.
So again, probably won't be live this week on our normal scheduled time. If we have an opportunity at some point, we will jump on live, just as spontaneous live. You'll just have to make sure you're subscribed to the channel, hit the bell button so that you're notified about that. We might jump in live on Mighty Networks again. It will be completely spontaneous. Most of our schedules should be back to normal the following week, starting on February 12th or 13th, whatever.
Bear with us.
And of course, then I'm in lacrosse season. Like, my assigner has booked me out, but we're going to make sure we get back to our normal schedule. And now, if you like seeing videos like this, take a look at some of the videos we have linked right over there. Also, make sure you take a look at the most recent video that I put right over here.
Whether you head this way or you head this way, don't forget to head this way. Subscribe to our channel and hit the little bell button. That way, every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Until next time.
Bye.